The king is starting to realize what's hit him in Bon Appetit, Your Majesty, as he literally falls for JiYoung. Yes, literally. Like tripping over his foot and taking her down with him, holding her against his pounding heart. Who else is hungry after seeing the king and his uncle devour JiYoung's pork cutlets? I want Court Lady MaiIm's job. Meanwhile, JiYoung is ready to set the Ming envoy's tongue and life ablaze, in the next episode, after the king showed her the chili peppers. The envoy and his 3 cooks are obviously up to no good, and seeing JiYoung as his head cook further confirms this, as he's always up to no good. What's more, looks like the jester, Gongil, is leading a double life. We'll get into this later. Who else is ready to see the king barrage JiYoung with gifts outside the palace? JiYoung finally got her hands on her missing bag at the end of the last episode. To her, this means that her stay in Joseon is coming to an end, as she won't only be able to prove she's from the future, but can finally go back home. However, this is not going to be the case, as the book Munganrock had disappeared after the king named his journal after it. The king, who recently realized his feelings for her, is worried about her leaving. Without much ado, JiYoung didn't hesitate to show the king her displeasure about the non-consented kiss. Despite her annoyance with him, she still made him a hangover soup, which could mean she cared a bit for him. It was refreshing that, instead of brushing it under the rug and deeming it his right, the king sought ways to apologize and make it up to her. Just as Mockju already suspects, the king's body knows of his feelings before his brain catches up. In his inebriated state, his body had turned to JiYoung for comfort, because he already had feelings for her. What's more, when he learned of the missing draft and its carrier, his legs took him to the kitchen, JiYoung's workplace. This is his heart acting before his brain catches up. It doesn't help that JiYoung reminds him of his late mother, putting him at ease, making him momentarily forget his worries. This was why he unknowingly sought her out after the news about the drifter. However, unable to fathom his attraction to her, he locked himself up, denying himself her food. You know what they say, distance makes the heart grow fonder. JiYoung started thinking of the king, when she was unable to see him. She's yet to realize that she harbors some sort of feelings for the tyrant king. This could be because she's from the future, and knows how tyrannical the king had been. What's with the little happy dance, after the king ate her meal? The distance also made the king to begin to realize his beating heart for his chef. It finally dawned on him at the end of the last episode, that he sees her as a woman, and not as his subject. This is bound to change everything. Meanwhile, the more distance the king puts between himself and Mockju, the more anxious she becomes. This spells trouble for JiYoung. But then, JiYoung is no spring chicken, and can hold her own when it comes to Mockju, as she's from the future. But then, adding arsenic to the king's food will spell disaster for JiYoung. As I stated earlier, it seems Gongil, the jester, is a double agent. The king holds him in confidence, trusting him to carry out some secret missions for him, but it seems Gongil is on a mission of his own. The king had been shot with an arrow when he first met JiYoung. And it seems Gongil had been the shooter. Unaware, the king trusted him to investigate the shooter. It seems Gongil is on a mission to find out what happened to his late sister, Dan. It also looks like he blames the king for her death. His sister had been taken to Jahongwon, now Mockju's abode, during Chae and returned home dead. Looking at how bruised she is, she must have been beaten to death. What's more, Mockju might have something to do with this, as her right-hand court lady's hairpin case was found in her clutches. Mockju had sent her to hinder JiYoung from delivering what JiYoung needed for the competition. Seeing at what length she was willing to go to stop JiYoung shows that she might be capable of murder. What's more, seeing as Gongil is secretly investigating the king's mission, it could mean he still has little faith in the king. Now that he knows that the king's uncle, Prince JiYoung, was behind the person who hired him to kill the king, let's see if he'd confide in the king. Prince JiYoung and the king devouring JiYoung's pork cutlets, while leaving Mockju's netjitsang, was satisfying. Mockju easily took credit for Cook Mansu's food, showing how dubious she is. Who else laughed at the SAS? JiYoung really clocked her, proving that she can hold her own. This showed the king that she's wise and compassionate, while Prince JiYoung seems to have taken an interest in her. What's more, Jae is really an ally, making a playground for the king. Who knew JiYoung's passport photograph could cause a scare? As he warned the king, it looks like the Ming envoy is up to no good. In episode 4, Prince JiYoung sent out a letter, which I suspect could be to the envoy. The envoy refused to eat Joseon food, and sent the minister to convey this to the king. On hearing this, the king decides to show him the taste of Joseon. He introduces JiYoung as his special royal cook. He's confident in JiYoung, as none of her meals have ever missed the mark. However, the envoy sees this as an opportunity, as he asks for a cooking face-off between his 3 cooks and JiYoung. On hearing this, JiYoung tries to stop the king from agreeing, but the king has other plans. The envoy plans to use this as an opportunity to get what he wants from Eheon and Joseon. I fear he might add JiYoung to the equation. A fearful JiYoung asks the king not to expect so much from her. But the king threatens her with her return. After getting her bag from the king, JiYoung declares that she's going home. This leaves the king, who recently realized his feelings for her, worried, as he laments her words. To motivate his cook, the king allows JiYoung outside the palace, and is bedazzled by her beauty. He gives her a gift, and doesn't hesitate to take her into his arms, to avoid a collision. On a closer look, it seems that his gift to JiYoung looks like the charm on Munganrock, when JiYoung held it in the future. Meanwhile, with JiYoung's stay in the palace on the line, Mockju sets out to ensure that she loses the competition. Hopefully, the arsenic will not be used. On the other hand, gingered by the king's gifts and threats, JiYoung rounds up her kitchen staff, raising their morale for the competition. It's going to be a tough competition, as the Ming cooks seem to also know their onions. But then, JiYoung is from the future, which could work to her advantage. She plans to give the envoy a blazing hot taste. She can be seen giving the competition her all, as the future of Joseon rides on her shoulders. Who do you think would win? Do you think JiYoung will also pull this off? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this content, please give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell for all things wonderfully K-drama. Thanks for watching, bye.